got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life, this is our song. We'll fight the powers that be, just don't pick our destiny, 'cause you don't know us, you don't belong. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Oh, you're so condescending. Your goal is never ending. We don't want nothing, not a thing from you. Your life is tried and jaded, boring and confiscated. If that's your best won't do.
So your appeal took place in Penticton, is this correct?
That's correct. My lawyer, Philip Scarsbrook, filed my appeal for me, and we tried for a little used method that still exists in the criminal courts today, called a trial de novo. This meant that a new trial could be processed because the original case was so fucked up. In order to get a new trial, I had to convince the judge that I was mentally incompetent, and in no way could I have properly represented myself. It turned out that in fact the best $1,500 that I'd ever spent was with that Dr. Eves. The professional letter came in very handy indeed. Dr. Eves had been involved in some very noteworthy cases in Canada. He was very well known in the legal community, and had a letter, and with a letter from him, the courts definitely took notice. However, what we were missing was the fresh evidence. The condition of the assault trial was not enough to tip the scales and award me a new trial. The letters that Yvonne wrote to me, totaled 3 now, provided the fresh evidence. The first letter Yvonne wrote said that I took anger management courses. This was not true. And she later said that I was coerced her into writing it. Which also was a lie. The other 2 letters she had handwritten for me. When questioned by the Crown about them, she denied ever writing them, and then accused me of forging the letters. The Crown sent the letters to the laboratory, had an RCMP document examiner review them. His results were conclusive and indisputable. They had not been forged. This was my fresh evidence. that I needed to guarantee a new trial. God for those two letters, and that Yvonne lied to the Crown about, and the validity of them. My lawyer and I filed a very lengthy affidavit with the courts. To support my appeal. And finally, we're allowed to admit all the evidence I had, much more, but my lawyer only chose 20 articles to include. We had a date set in Penticton to go and argue the case and the merits for the new trial. We met to head up to Penticton the day before. We were to meet at my tuxedo shop where I once worked. I bought my lawyer a new lucky pleated shirt for court. We walked next door to the Hertz car rental place. My lawyer, trying to be considerate of my cash situation, had already arranged an economic small K car to drive us up to Penticton. However, I had already arranged earlier for a bright, shiny yellow Mustang convertible. I wanted to roll into the small town Penticton in style with the big city lawyer. I took the Hertz car rental bumper sticker off. I wanted us to be noticed. We got up to Penticton in the early evening and shared some dinner, and then went to the local Legion for a beer and headed back to the hotel room. My lawyer and I shared the same room. I wasn't going to be able to sleep. I wanted my lawyer to get a good night's rest.
Del. Why did you kiss my ear?
Why are you holding my hand?
Where's your other hand?
Between two pillows.
Those aren't pillows.
I stayed awake till late using the hotel's computer in the lobby. Out of curiosity, I searched the prosecutor's name, Vernon Frolick. I learned not only is he a Crown prosecutor, but he also is a published author. Vernon Frolick had written some books in the past, and one of the books he had written was called Descent into Madness, The Diary of a Killer. In the morning over breakfast, I told my lawyer what I had learned about the Crown prosecutor. He just shrugged his shoulders and said, We finished breakfast and headed to the courthouse. It took all morning to hear and argue my case. The Crown, of course, was trying to quash all the evidence listed in my affidavit and claim that I did a fairly good job at the trial. All in the face of the expert psychiatrist's letter saying I was fucking nuts and the evidence in the affidavit would not be relevant to the alleged assault. The Crown argued that I should have used the evidence I had during the first trial. Dr. Eve's letter and the forensic RCMP report that Yvonne's letters were not forged, and in fact were now exhibits B and C, carried the weight of a new witness in the courthouse.
Curdy, whoa, wait, he just went up. Hold on.
This was the fresh evidence that I so desperately needed. While my lawyer and Crown argued the case to the judge, I decided to make myself scarce. It was just enough that I was in Penticton with my lawyer, but I didn't have to stay in the courtroom for the whole procedure. While the Crown and my lawyer argued the case, this was good thing because I didn't want to piss the judge off by walking in and out every 5 minutes going for a smoke. The small amount of time I did witness the arguments, my lawyer made Vernon Frolick look like a total asshat. Everything that Mr. Frolick argued for the judge more or less shut down. The morning wrapped up and we went to lunch. My lawyer told me a few interesting things that I found cool and interesting. He said that if I won, I would be one of the few that ever won a trial de novo in Canada. He also told me that he personally knew the assize judge, the traveling judge. That was hearing the arguments. My lawyer had applied to be a judge, and the judge hearing our case was on the board of selection. Yet another coincidence. My lawyer also told me that he too wrote a book and that it specialized in rare appeals. To me, it seemed like all the stars in the universe had finally aligned. I hired the exact right guy for this job. I was made to feel confident. At lunch and after lunch, we all gathered in the courtroom to hear the judge deliver his decision.